What's up, folks? It's Hobo Tim, and I'm here to bring you this week's video. Folks, now, Hobo Tim is real tired after the epic comedy night that went on Friday. And I thank you all to you who went to that comedy night. It was pretty awesome, folks. Because of that, we only got 2 segments this week. We're going to go into Hobo Tim's announcements, and then we'll finish it out with an old Gospel Tim sequence. Folks, that's what our video is going to look like. Let's get into it.
Hobo Tim, DJ Sparky. Hobo Tim is back again. I wrote this here with a pen. The best hobo man you chose to go. Los anuncios run it. Here I am right back. I wrote this here. It is a track. You know I run. I go attack. I'm rhyming here like Hack a Shack.
In Hobo Tim's announcements, there are 3 announcements that I've got for y'all this week, folks. That first announcement is that, folks, that is that 3/19, folks. 3/19. That is, in fact, Kalang. Saturday, 3/19 is your deadline as a high schooler to make sure that you get your commitment into the high school spring break trip, folks. So if you're a high schooler and you're looking to go on the spring break trip, that is your deadline to get that information in, folks. Remember that. The second announcement is that on 3/20. That's Sunday, March 20th, folks. There's going to be Memory Verse Sunday that week, folks. So make sure you get it in the noggin, okay? You gotta need to know that memory verse for that week. And the final announcement that we have for you all this week is kind of 2 announcements in the same one. It's going to be on March 27th. That's Sunday, March 27th, folks. It's going to be youth church in the morning, just like it always is on the last Sunday of the month. And it's also going to be a worship night that night, folks. So make sure you keep all those good things in mind. Those are the announcements that I have for you. Folks, let's head it in to our one and only sequence today. The Old Gospel Tip. What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Old Gospel Tim, where I hear your great professor, Hobo Tim. I'm here to bring you a riveting and exciting story straight from the Old Testament, folks. Now, of course, you need to know, as usual, that I am the great biblical scholar that I am, and completely prepared to bring you this message. And it comes to us from the chapter 5 of the book of Samuel, the first one. So we got 1 Samuel chapter 5. And this is an interesting chapter, okay? So, for those of you who are not biblical scholars like me, and do not understand what is happening in this current time, okay, so what you need to know is that the Israelites have gone through a period of judges, right? Okay, there's a whole book called Judges because that period happened. So, this has happened in Israel, and now they're in a land, and they don't have a king yet. That's going to happen in, I don't know, probably 20 pages or so from where we're at. And so they don't have a king. And they might want one, but all the other areas got kings. So they're in a land, they're in Israel. We know where that's at on a map, obviously. And there's this place people call the Philistines who live in places that are not called Philistini. It's just called places, okay? I don't know why they're called the Philistines, if I'm being completely honest. But like I said last night, names aren't important about the history, okay? As long as you get the messages, that's what makes me the best historian in the world. Okay, so what happens here is you've got the Philistines, and they have captured the Ark of God, because if you recall, the Israelites really don't obey God very well at this point. And so he don't like them, so he doesn't just like, okay, the Ark is going to be the best thing ever and crush them all. He doesn't let that necessarily happen in this situation. So it says they took the Ark. So now the Philistines have the Ark, and they take it back to a place that is in Ashdod. Okay, so they're in Ashdod. See, they're the Philistines, but they're from Ashdod. I don't know where the names are coming in, but somehow they are. So that's what happens. And now they put it in this place with this big old idol. His name's Dagon. Now, I personally have to say that out of all of the evil and weird idols that have ever existed in the world. And there have been a lot. This is the only one that I think is really well named. I mean, Baal. Oh, so and it's not scary. That's not a scary name. Ashtoreth. Okay, Zeus. That's not scary. These are boring names. Dagon. Oh, it's like he's a dragon, but he's not. Oh, that's terrifying. So, finally, they've named their god a good name. But it's not a good name. Because he's about to get KO'd, as we're going to find out here in a moment. So, Dagon is a big statue. He's in a place. And then the Philistines, they take this ark and they say, ha, ha, ha. We got this big old powerful ark thingy here. Not quite sure what it does. So they stick it in the temple of Dagon. Because when you're a Philistine and you capture an object of great value and you don't know what to do with it, you stick it in the temple of Dagon. That's what happens to it, okay? Obviously, okay? So they stick it in there. And it's in the temple. And so then basically after that, the Lord, he don't like that. So it says here in verse 6, the Lord's hand was heavy on the people of Ashdod and its vicinity, and he brought devastation on them and inflicted them with tumors. So it turns out that while God didn't necessarily want to help the Israelites in every situation, he sure didn't want the Philistines to be having any power either. So he starts crushing them all and killing them and devastating them. And you know how it is. As my friend, who I know from a long distance away, as my friend Bob Marv would say, devastating. That's what's going on here. So, devastation. Alright, so then the people are like, okay, something's going on here. We got a problem. Don't quite know what's going on here. So then, they just continue with their life because they don't know what's going on. But God, he's like, okay, now I really need to tell these people why I'm trying to kill them all the time. So what he decides to do is, they go out, everybody leaves the temple one night, they go and sleep because humans have to do that. And they come the next morning and Dagon has been knocked over. He just, okay, how does a giant rock statue fall over in the middle of the night? It's not supposed to. So they're like, well, what in tarnation has gone on here? We're being devastated, and now our statue, this is a problem. They still can't quite connect the dots because, obviously, as we can see, these Philistines were not too bright. So then the next day, same thing happens, except for this time, the hands and the head have been chopped off the Dagon statue. That really gets their attention, and then finally they go, okay, I see. Okay, so basically, this thing is powerful. It doesn't like us. It's crushing us. So then I just find that very funny because he just KO'd them all, and it took them a while to figure it out. So they say, okay, have the ark of the God of Israel moved to Gath. Apparently Gath is like a place. So they're like, we got to get it out of here. So they send it away, and then it's fine. And that's the end of the story. But the moral, okay, that is the important part. Remember, I may not know all the names of history, but I am the best historian ever because I know the lessons. And that's the important part. So here's our lesson, folks. Okay. Whenever you start getting inflicted with tumors and your statues get their heads chopped off, start looking for religious artifacts around you that might be the cause of the problem. Okay? That's your moral of the story. All right, folks? So have a great time. We'll see y'all next time on the Old Gospel Tip.